Hi everyone, you're watching Jana FX, and in this video I'm going to show you the results of my trades for this trading week, as I promised. And first of all, of course, I'll start with warning that Forex is a risky business. You may make money, you can also lose even more than you invested. So if you decide to trade in Forex, you need to ask for financial and professional advice, and you should decide for yourself if you want to do trading. Everything I tell you and show in my videos, it's all based on my own experience and it's only for informational purposes. So if you will decide to follow any of my strategies, it's all at your own risk. So wherever any trades you decide to take, you have to be responsible for everything on your own. So if you agree, we can continue. If you disagree with my terms, please change the channel. Okay, so now we can start. And many of you asking me the questions like how to trade with money management, and this is what I'm going to do exactly, trading and show you the results of trading not very big account with very small risk. If you watched my previous videos or wherever you ask any traders, you would always hear that they would tell you, do not trade, do not risk more than 1 to 3% of your account. So I will be saying exactly the same, and I would say between 1 up to 5% of the account. And this I call this is the safer way of trading, and of course that's how you should do, in my opinion. Of course, money management is very important, and Forex is not a place where you should think you can make a lot of money very fast. It needs to be treated like a place where you can make possibly reasonable amount, but of course it's a very slow process, and it's no needs to be a high risk. Shouldn't really risk too much of the account. Like many people do like to risk quite a lot, and but as I'm saying, when you are already trading, it's up to you. You can take the risks, but if you are beginning and if you also want to be a little bit safer trader, let's say, then you should of course use money management and do not risk too much when you're trading. So that's why I decided to make this video, so series of videos where you will be seeing, like the shop you saw previously in my previous years. I was showing you a very aggressive way of trading, and many we were asking and trying to do something similar. And but I was always saying use money management and don't risk too much, up to 1, 3, 5%, no more. And that's why this time I'm not going to show you big and fast trades. No, this time it's going to be slow and more safer trading. And also, as I told you before, that the market of course is changing, and what we had previous years, it was maybe a little bit more calming, like this last like couple of years it was a little bit more wild, like I would say. That's why of course the longer you trade, you understand, you have more experience, and of course in some trades you might take higher risk, in some trades lower risk. But as I'm saying again, especially if you're only starting, then you have to use only a very low risk, and that's exactly what we are going to do now. So I'm trading $1,000 account. I have slightly more on my account, about 1,200 something, but I will be treating it like it's just $1,000 account. And as I'm saying, my risks are between 1 to 5%. And this week, this week I started trading. You can see right now on the screen with the results. I'm showing you this is the monthly result. This is the weekly result, which starts from 6th of September. As you can see, this is when the week started, and here all the trades up to the 8th of September. And you can see that on my account right now for this week is $30, which is in, we will be saying percentages, as I'm saying it's $1,000. Of course, if it's a higher amount on the account, so it would be a bit bigger number, but we will be talking about risks. So as I'm saying, it's this result, 3% a week, with a maximum 1 to 5% of risk. All the trades were up to that. You can see on the size lot, you can see that the sizes were very low. I didn't place more than 0.02. And you know the strategies I use, I usually close half positions, and that's why you can see the lot sizes are mostly, you can see 0.01, because most of them were split, half closed and half was still in the trade. And I also still have a running trade, which is, you can see Australian dollar, and it's a profitable trade, so it's floating positive, right now $10, so it's extra 1%, but I will be continue that trade, and of course it might be lower at the end. But even if I, for example, my stop stands, you can see here 5, so I can't lose now. I can lose another this extra $5 right now. You can see 10. If I would close, I would have $10 profit. But if I would leave it and I would hit stop loss, then I will still be in profit by $5. But my target is a little bit bigger, and about this I will be telling you in my next video, Forex analysis for the next trading week, because then I will be explaining to you what I'm looking at for the next trading week. And just saying in this one that I will be still keeping the trade, but if I would, for example, close the trade, so it would be actually up to 4% growth of the account in a week. So this is a very good result, I'm telling you, because you can see there is no floating, there were no big drawdowns. Not drawdowns, I mean like it wasn't in a big minus when I was in the trade, because of course it's not straight away you go into the trade and it's straight away profitable. Of course the market it's always, wherever you open the position, it's always will be minus because there is a spread. And you have to remember about this, because many are asking, oh, why is it minus? I opened, I like bought wherever, and it's minus straight away. I want to sell straight when I can't, it's minus, because it's a spread. You have to remember about this. So that's what I'm saying. The market didn't go too far against me, and you will see in the video a little bit. I was trying to make the whole week, but it's very hard, because these trades were not immediate trades. They were even I was leaving some trades for the next day. So it wasn't just one day trading and closing at the end of the day. No, you see, as I'm saying, the market is changing. So yes, the most of the time I'm trying to close my trades during the day, but I'm saying depends at what's happening on the market, the conditions, and that's what I'm saying. All the strategies I'm telling you, the way of trading, it's always a combination of different ways of trades. So that's what you can see now. I'll show you once again. You can see that it shows you the profit, and again it count the history. So I will be showing you weekly like this. Because remember I said to you that there will be some news. I didn't expect major news like non-farm was it's already happened, but on Tuesday we expected like ISM manufacturing for US dollar, and also I was concentrating on news for Australian dollar. And so now you can see, of course, Monday is always mostly is my watching day, and I'm waiting for something the market would create, so I can see if there were any patterns or any channels. So here you can see I'm looking at euro dollar, and it's in the channel. You can may check previous video analysis, and I didn't see anything good for trading euro dollar on Tuesday. The same I'm looking right now at pound dollar, and I had exactly the same. You see, during Monday it moved a little bit, and I didn't see much of the opportunities to go into the trade for these two pairs. So the most attention I had for, as I said, Australian dollar, and it was in a downtrend channel for a while, and now it was in an uptrend channel. Like as I'm saying, the major one was a little bit of downtrend, but the little one had the uptrend, and I was waiting for some movements and hopefully trying to catch the move down. So you can see this is a little channel we had, and I also had two levels important levels, which you also know from my previous videos. And as expected, no much news on Monday. You can see it didn't move too much. It did jump inside my previous channel, and this is what I was looking and analyzing. This is how I analyze. What should I do? Should I go in a trade? Place a trade. So I'm in the time zone right now that during the Asian session I can't watch the market. So that's why it's quite important to analyze as correctly as possible, of course. So you see this little channel which I drew before was very important before, and on the Monday market did come inside the channel. So what was my decision is that possibly the market can sit in that channel a little bit, or it will, and of course it will break it at one point. So but of course I don't know exactly when it should happen, and that's what was my attention the most at that channel. And so I decided to place the trade using this channel. So for Australian dollar and dollar pair, so I decided to use that channel. So, and I'm using my expert, and I'm placing my usual settings, 20 cents a pip, also 20 pips up and down, and stop loss 30 pips. And here is I'm just checking out how wide is the channel to see if I want to increase the stop. So that's what at the first I had my previous settings, and so I'm looking at the channel itself is 20 pips, and I decided to change the stop loss for a little bit bigger, because you know, if there is nothing fast moving, it's not fast moving, so it could be the market could go against me a little bit and hit my stop. So I placed a little bit higher. You can see I just showed you that I was risking about 2% of the account in the worst case, if for example the market would have hit both my trades, but it was actually 1% of risk, because when the market is pretty quiet and expecting if it goes against, it will slowly hit, for example, one stop. It wouldn't be usually on the news events. It happens when you can hit both of your stops, but here you would expect more. But let's say maximum. So I had 2% of the risk. So that's how I placed and left this for the night, because in my time zone it was a night, so I couldn't watch it, but I had my expert on. How to get expert? You can also go to my blog, which is janafx.com, and there you can read the conditions, what you should do, how to download, install expert, and how to work with it. And so here I placed the orders, you can see. So now from the levels, it will be 20 pips up, the buy stop, and 20 pips down, sell stop. So that's all I did. So it was time for waiting. So the next one, attention, was of course dollar yen, because it also was going in the main picture, it's in a downtrend. And as you remember from the analysis, I was saying that the pair is going up, but it didn't reach the level of the main channel. So my concern was, did it have enough? And it's trying to turn around. And of course, I want to catch the movement. And so I placed a little channel again. So it's a mini uptrend. And also you can see that level I also told you about, which is horizontal. So to me, it looked like it started to create one of the patterns. This is what I always look for, head and shoulders. You can see this is the shoulders, and also hopefully it would go create another shoulder, and then I was hoping that it will turn around and break it. and so I could go into the trade. So I didn't place the trades because it was again for the night. I wouldn't be able to watch it, and I presumed that it needed a little bit more time for, you see, this for a movement. So it wasn't going to happen on Tuesday, and that's how I analyzed dollar yen. So that was another one to keep an eye on Tuesday, on the next day. So here I'm just showing and just paying a bit more attention. You see how I'm analyzing it to trying to get every highs and lows, and I placed another level to see where the highest of the shoulder could be on smaller time frames, and just corrected a little bit the bottom line. So and just waiting for hopefully creation of the shoulder. Okay, so the next one I was looking at, of course, dollar Canadian, and which was also creating something similar, possibly a pennant or like a little triangle. So it had a downtrend, and it got very, very close to the most important level. And so I also draw levels for pennant, and of course analyzing that possibly from that level it can go down a little bit more, and also a top one to see if it could go up or down. So euro pound was also creating like a little pattern, which is a diamond pattern. So you can see this is how I was drawing the lines for it, and thinking also to go into trade for that pair because just based on this pattern which was started to create on Monday. So during the Monday, and you see I'm not making exact using the tops and the bottoms of these candles because it was going into the night again, and that's why I make it a little bit wider. So because expecting that during the Asian session it will be very quiet in this area, you can see. So that's why I wouldn't think of expecting any movements and breaking the levels during the night. So you can see that expectation, if it would go up, so we have around 40-50 pips, and so analyzing that market could move up, and now analyzing if the market could go down. You can see I'm trying to put it into the channel again, and I also had around 40 pips down to the next important level of the channel where it's moving. So I've decided to place the trades because quite a strong pattern, let's say, and but I placed this time a smaller take profit -10, which means it would have taken 10 pips and put the rest on the trading stop. So I placed 30 pips stop, and as my usual 20 pips up and 20 pips down. So now I'm going to place the levels, which is horizontal, because as I'm saying, it sits in the diamond pattern, but it creates like a little channel, and it gave me a little bit of indication that it should break soon and possibly make some profit. So that's how I was analyzing it, you can see, and just adjusting a little bit, of course, on a smaller chart. As I'm saying, you can see it's mostly 15-minute charts where I'm placing the trades and analyzing on the bigger ones. So now we have a next day is Tuesday, where I had my trades on. So you can see the Australian dollar has just got me into the trade And what I did manually, you can see I just changed the stop. So I'm in a trade which expected during the night, of course, because it's Australian dollar, and expected the movement. When I woke up, I could change the stop. And you can see that euro pound is also hit the trade also order, and it was of course the balance. And you can see I had like what it's minus $1.92 as you would look at the bottom. And I'm checking out on dollar yen, and you can see there is nothing happened in dollar yen, but it proved the point that the movement happened during the night. You can see it did create a little shoulder. So I'm checking out again. So it sits in the channel, and possibly I was thinking it might go up a bit or stay. So dollar Canadian I'm checking, and again it's also moved exactly as expected. It broke and it was stopped by the lower level, quite important one, so the movement wasn't much. That's why I didn't go into the trade. Australian dollar, you can see is a little bit later now, closed half position. You can see now I have only 0.01 running. So I already have some profit, had a profit, and you can see it here in the results. And now I was just trying to move stop, but then I decided the decision was to close it manually. You can see now I closed Australian dollar because it reached the one of the levels. And also on euro pound I moved a little bit stop loss because it was going against me, you can see, but it's only right now making me minus a bit $7, and I moved it a little bit higher, increased a little bit of risk because it was looked like it was going up to the top of the channel. So that's why I decided to take a little bit risk to give it a little bit more time, because it still gave me an indication that it might go my direction. So then I looked at pound dollar again, and we expected the news for dollar, and of course I was looking to go into more trades. And as you can see now, I have euro pound is still in minus, but it's getting lower. It's minus $1 right now. So this decision, as I'm saying, was because they were not expected any news, which was supposed to make big movements. That's why I thought it's balancing, and it should go into my direction, hopefully. And so pound dollar also went into a channel, and I'm also decided to place the trades because it was very close to the main levels, and I placed again minus 20, stop loss increased to 50, and my usual 20 up and 20 down pips. And I'm creating first, I'm going to place the trend lines, and you can see from the level I was thinking it was very close to one of the tops, and now I'm going to place the other one as a sell order, which is also 20 pips below that level. So you can see I placed it a little bit higher than the other a little one, because the majority was around this level. So now I'm placing live trading, and that's it. I'm leaving it, and hope that it will make me some money. So I was watching Australian dollar, and I had another level for it, and still checking out for dollar yen. And now I saw that it did create very nice looking pattern, and it sits in the channel, which does look like head and shoulders. So it's inside the shoulders, and before the American news, of course, I was expecting hopefully that it would have make some movements, that maybe possibly the dollar yen was ready for some movement. So that's why I thought if it will go up, I have a lot of room out there to reach the level. So it's up to 140 pips up. And also looking at the bottom line, this is what I was waiting, and hope to go to, you see, to the another main level is about 160 pips. So a lot of room of movements for dollar yen, good pattern, and of course I placed trades, and using also again my expert, where I used 20 cents a pip again. I increased the stop, so that means the risk was 2% of the account if the worst case, otherwise it's about only 1% risk. And I placed the trend levels again, so I used 3 tops. So because it was quite wide channel, so I thought maybe if the news wouldn't be as big and important, so I thought maybe if it will move, only trying to reach and to the shoulder, top of the shoulder line, or maybe a little bit higher, and it would have still enough space to make some profit. So the lower level I placed exactly where the neck line, and that's it. So I placed the trades, and just needed to wait for anything happening. And so a little bit later I had pound dollar. You can see I'm in the trade, and I removed the levels so it wouldn't go into the other trade if, for example, it would turn around. So now it's going up, and so my concern was again it moved, and possibly that was the stopping point. Then dollar yen, you can see it was good move too. It took me into the trade, and I also removed the other other order, and I moved stop loss and cancelled and switched off my expert. So now I turned into manual trading completely, because what I wanted to keep the trade and reach the target. So I didn't want to leave 20 pips trading stop, because I really believe that it will reach the target. And so this is, you can see my analyzing again. So as I'm showing to you, I'm using the Fibonacci, and the way the market would move, I would be placing, moving the stop manually up to the one of the main level. It's very important level, 101,417. You can see roughly 101,417. And so look at this result I had for pound dollar, and also pound dollar and euro pound. So all the results, all the trades end up positive. And so now the main attention was to watch dollar yen, what's happening, and how it's moving. You can see I placed the stop about 30 pips, just enough space for recovery if it would try to turn around. And a little bit later you can see I'm placing a take profit, because it's getting close to the evening again, and I placed the take profit just slightly above the main level, just in case if it wouldn't reach it. Once again, I'm on a pound dollar, looking for opportunity to go for another trade. You can see how it started to consolidate and balance around the most important level, very important level. This one you can see, and again expecting that it's about 30 pips the channel, and expecting that possibly might break that channel finally, because it's very important level. And I'm placing the again trades for the night, just in case, expecting that possibly there will be not much movements at night, but I'm placing it just because I didn't really want to miss an opportunity, because it's set, was sitting in a very good location. It's a good place. So, and of course expecting again either movement, you never know. I never know where it's going to move exactly. I can think, but that was the point. So this is the new day, and you can see I have profit on dollar yen. It's closed. So that's it. And you can see that pound dollar didn't move during the night much, and I moved the levels a little bit lower. So the pound showed a little bit of the down movement, and so expectation again that possibly it will go down, or of course it still might go back up. So a little bit later again, we can see that pound moved down, and I'm on the trade in a trade again. And later on, you can see they closed a position, and pound moved, and I got some profit again. So it was profitable. The second trade was closed by the stop with no profit at all. So I got only on one part of the trade. So of course, next I was looking at the dollar Canadian, expecting again some news out there, and didn't want to miss another trade, because I also had here consolidation and the possibility again market of moving either up or down. So place to trades, my usual ones, again risking only 2%, and that's it. So just waiting for what's going to happen on the market. So you can see I had about 40 pips possibility if it will go up, so it would hopefully would have closed 20 pips, and the channel is quite wide, and the going to the hopefully hitting the lowest level, so had enough room to get at least some profit. So of course hopefully to catch the bigger move, but also the possibility to catch and get a little bit of profit. And you can see we have the movements again, but dollar Canadian was closed with just you can see 12 cents, because when it moved high, I closed it manually. I just moved the stop and it closed me. So Australian dollar again, I'm placing the trades before the night because it's went up. You can see it went higher from my previous trade. It did actually break the level and went into the uptrend channel, and I placed another trade, as you can see, and next day you can see the market moved up. I actually also manually changed the stop because it started to consolidate at the top of that chart, you can see, and I left the trades, and later on you can see it took me into the other trade, sell. So first I was in the buy order, then I was in the sell order, and I left it for the night, and it was moving not much at night. You can see in the next day it was continued to be in a profitable trade. Actually at night you can see that was a take profit. I placed it just in case. I thought if there will be some movement, so I wanted to make at least a little profit, because I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch the screen at that time. So, and of course you can see here now half of the trade was closed, half was left, and these are the trades again, you can see, and I left again Australian dollar without trailing stops, so I moved stop loss myself again manually, and I switched off the expert, because now I wanted to try to catch, because I expected, and I was saying that I'm expecting the big move down, and first hopefully it will consolidate in the channel again and might get a little bit more trades. But no, you see it didn't stop in the channel, it just continued going down. I moved my stop again, and now you can see the market is closed, and I left my trade running. You can see it here, and of course I probably will be leaving the stop at that point to see what of course the news or any events will be next week, and hopefully it will continue going down, and I will try to top up if there will be some consolidations, but again probably will be placing both directions trades on buy and stop, on buy and sell, and keeping the trade, because now the trade is profitable, and to see how long I can keep it for. So for Australian, but the Forex analysis I will make in the next video. You can watch next one, so it will be separate with all the other pairs. what I'm looking at and will be looking at next week. But this was the results of the trades for the previous week. And that's all, I guess, for now. If you really liked it, don't forget to subscribe. And I see you later. Bye, everyone.